Good Erev Yontif, my friends, and I want to wish everybody a Chag Kasher v'Sameach and a safe and healthy holiday, and remind you to stay home and remind everyone to stay just to their limited family under the roof. Fight the urge to share the Pesach Seder and the meals with members of family and close friends and neighbors who you think are safe, who you think are not a threat. Every unnecessary interaction must be avoided. It's a matter of pikuach nefesh. It's a matter of basic safety. Even if you are not threatened, the disease could, God forbid, spread through an encounter to someone who would be compromised. So please stay home, stay secure, so that way we can have many more Pesach Sedarim with larger crowds in the future. I want to share a message, a Dvar Torah, an idea of inspiration as we head into the holiday, something which I think comes from each of you. The inspiration that we derive, that I am deriving, comes from the many conversations and texts and WhatsApps and emails and questions I have been receiving. You may have seen the tragic loss of Rav Yaakov Perlo, who was the head of the Agudas Yisrael and was the Novominsker Rebbe. So I want to share a story about a Novominsker Rebbe, a different Novominsker Rebbe. I believe he was an uncle who lived during the terrible years of World War II. And this story takes place in April of 1943 in the Warsaw Ghetto. It was rumored that Himmler, Yamach Shemo, had given orders to evacuate the Warsaw Ghetto and to make it Judenrein by April 20th. And this was designed as a birthday present for his boss, for Hitler, Yamach Shemo. And when the rumor got around that they were going to liquidate the ghetto, many of the remaining Jews, whoever was left, they decided, at least some of them, to oppose an armed resistance against the liquidation of the ghetto. A militant approach that had strong approval from leaders, including Rav Menachem Zemba, who headed it up, as well as other Rabbanim of the time. We have records of their letters, of their speeches that were legendary, that were given to encourage Jews to join in this last-ditch effort. And they got whoever they could, the few young remaining men and women who could participate in this desperate effort to forcibly resist the liquidation of the ghetto, despite their pitifully few arms. Rav Menachem Zemba's apartment was a center for the activity of the hundreds of Jews who came in for blessings, for encouragement, and for guidance. And while those preparations were being made for the resistance, other preparations were taking place at the same time, and those were preparations in advance of the holiday of Pesach. Pesach was right around the corner, and many Jews in the ghetto had no food for Pesach, and certainly not matzah. The committee they put together in advance of Pesach consisted of three outstanding communal leaders: Jacob Trockenheim, formerly a member of the Polish Senate; Joseph Konigsberg, who was formerly the president of the Yeshivas Chachmei Lublin; and Eliezer Gershon Friedenson, who was the editor of the Beth Jacob Journal. And under the most adverse conditions, these men worked tirelessly to obtain food for Pesach and to make it available for as many Jews as possible within the ghetto. The apartment that was selected, the apartment that served as the central convening point for organizing the Pesach food, was directly across from Rav Menachem Zemba's house, and it was the apartment of Rav Yoshua Perlo, the Novominsker Rav, and the relative of this Novominsker Rav Zatzal. And there they converted a home into a depot for all Pesach food. And all day long, crowds streamed into the building and emerged with bags filled with matzos, with wine, and food for Pesach. And despite the dire circumstances and the imminent threat of liquidation and the health issues and other concerns, the ghetto seemed to be taking on a holiday mood. Thus, the eve of the Great Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, a central concern of rabbinic and communal leaders was not just their physical safety, but was also, in addition to the preparations, was also that they should be provided the community with matzos, with wine, with kavod Pesach. See, this is the greatness of the Jewish people. We do what we must to stay alive, to secure ourselves, to protect ourselves. We must close every shul, every beis medrash, every yeshiva, limit the homes to just the family and just the people living under one roof. And sometimes that's one person. But at the same time, while we are under threat, we're also worried about Pesach. We're also asking shaylos. I've gotten so much chizuk this year, so much strength from each of you. Because while we're going through this incredibly dire and trying circumstance, fighting this disease, trying to stay secure, the phone has been ringing nonstop with shaylos, with questions about kosher and utensils, about which foods and medications may be consumed, about questions about preparing for Pesach, questions about unique questions that come up this year, tefillah b'yachid, how to daven as an individual, questions that are unusual and questions that come up every year. You see, the greatness of the Jewish people is that no matter what is happening to us, we never stop observing our laws to the best of our abilities, even though if those laws have been contracted into a very small range of possibilities as we have this year. We're asking shaylos. We're engaging in Pesach. We're making the Pesach holiday as meaningful as humanly possible. And that's an incredible statement of our emunah, of our faith, of emunascha balelos. Pasuk says, "Lahagi baboker chastecha v'emunascha balelos," to tell over about your chesed in the morning and your emunah at night. And there are two versions of this. One is that we have chesed during the day and faith that pulls us through the night. And that is what we're exhibiting here. Faith at night, faith in darkness. But the other interpretation is the literal interpretation. La'agi baboker chastecha. God, we tell over about your kindness during the day, and God's your faith at night. What does it mean that God has faith at night? It means that God has faith in us during the times that are dark. We have exhibited an unusual, an extraordinary, a praiseworthy amount of emunah in this time, that we are committed to distributing Pesach goods, that we are committed to fulfilling the halacha in every iota, and not compromising one little aspect of our observance in this time. And God, you will stay strong with your emunah in us. You will hold strong with your faith in us in this time. I know we will get out of this period. I know that we will prove stronger than this difficulty. And Mirz Hashem, next time, Pesach, we will be together in a much grander capacity, not just in halachic observance, but full simcha of Achdus, the simcha of the Am Yisrael together. And may this year bring about a geula shalema v'nomar lafanav shira chadasha. May we sing before you, please God, very soon, a new song, a song that makes the Shiras Hayam pale in comparison. May it make the song of the sea seem like a little market ditty by nothing extraordinary compared to the song we'll sing when that great day comes. The Geula Shalema may be around the corner. Chag Sameach, Chag Kasher Sameach. Stay safe, and I miss you each very, very much.